Day, ladies and gentlemen, little sisters and brothers. I know by now you have probably figured out it takes a little bit more than dancing a good jig with magical intent to accomplish the Israelis' ultimate goals, huh? So today's video, it's going to be short, but it's designed to tie up any loose ends we may have thus far in our understanding on who the Israelis are, the mechanics behind their religious practices, and their desire to manifest their Messiah. Saying that, according to Wikipedia, under practical Kabbalah, letting the beat rock and cutting to chases. Quote, practical Kabbalah in historical Judaism is a branch of the Jewish mystical traditions that concern the use of magic. It was considered permitted white magic by its practitioners, reserved for the elite, who could separate its spiritual source from the realms, with an S, of evil if performed under circumstances that were holy and pure. Its teachings included the use of divine and angelic names for amulets and incantations. Stop! Bingo! Funny. The Israelis say they call their name Hashem because they don't want to use his real name. But as you can plainly hear, the mystics don't have a problem calling their God anything they want. Oh yeah, our Jewish brothers and sisters, unholy book of evil realms, the Zohar and the Kabbalah, this is where a bubble-eyed catfish, aka Rakar, admitted he got the name he deceived millions to perceive and believe was my God's real name. But that's water under the bridge with me. Let's continue for more clues, shall we? Under History, subtitle, Merkabah Mysticism. Listen closely. Quote, in Talmudic and Goenic times, rabbinic mysticism focused around exegesis of Ezekiel's vision of the divine chariot throne and meditative introspective ascent, that's going up, into the heavenly chambers. This elite practical mysticism, as described in the esoteric Deveikut literature, H-E-K, well, I ain't even going to spell it, no need for you to know it. Deveikut, some kind of shit, literature, listen up, incorporated and merged into magical incantation elements. The Talmud and Midrash refer to this as using the divine name for Theurgic practical ascent, as in the story of the 10 martyrs who inquired in heaven of the decree. Listen closely. In the Hekalot literature, angels guarding each level are meditatively bound by formulae and seals to allow entry. Let me say it again. Angels guarding each level are meditatively bound by formulae and seals to allow entry. Stop. Bingo. Just like the Catholics, this is the real reason the singing Masoretic text was created in the first place. To incorporate a specific tone and pitch to cast spells and summon demons. And when you incorporate this information with the understanding they dance jigs, etc. with magical intent, and add what Wikipedia says under Theurgic, Theurgic, quote, Theurgy describes the practice of rituals, sometimes seen as magical in nature, performed with the intentions of invoking the action or evoking the presence of one or more deities, especially with the goal of achieving Henosis, which means uniting with the divine and perfecting oneself. That can only mean the Israelis are the epitome of what hellraisers truly are. I mean, as you can plainly hear, whether it's in their minds or not, the Israelis are playing with literal fire. I mean, you do know they are talking to watchers that are guarding the different levels of that Q word of evil realms. Don't you? You do know these are the exact same watchers the black Hebrew Israelite camps like IUIC and the Lions of Israel and the black Muslims are seeding your minds to accept by deceiving and perceiving and having you believe the UFOs are my God's angels and chariots. Don't you? I hope so. But let's continue for more clues, shall we? Under medieval separation of conceptual and practical Kabbalah. Listen closely. Quote, one important tradition of practical Kabbalah thrived in Spain during the second half of the 15th century before the Al-Halabra decree. The main text of the tradition was called Sefra Mazid. The practitioners of this tradition were described by Moshe Idol as, personal quote, listen up, interested in demonology and the use of coercive incantations to summon demons, angels, and even God in order to hasten the Messianic age. I'm going to read that again. Interested in demonology and the use of coercive incantations to summon demons, angels, and even God. Why? In order to hasten the Messianic age. Joseph de Arena, which was 1418 to 1472, his failure with his students in this, which means what? They freaking tried it, was considered a warning by later Kabbalists of the potential perils of involvement with Kabbalist practice. Stop. Nothing under the sun. Bingo. So as you can plainly hear, what I'm proposing the current Israelis are doing has already been done by Israelis of old. Let's continue for more clues, shall we? Under divine intercession through the Deveikut, which is Deveikut, by the Hasidic Tzaddik, which is the Rebbe. I'm just going to say Rebbe. All right? Listen closely. Quote, Hasidism internalized Kabbalah through the psychology of, Hasidism internalized Kabbalah through the psychology of Deveikut, that Deveikut, which means cleaving to God and cleaving to the Rebbe, not the rabbi, but the Rebbe. In Hasidic doctrine, listen up. In Hasidic doctrine, the Rebbe channels divine, spiritual, and physical bounty to his followers by altering the will of God, uncovering a deeper will through his own Deveikut and self-nullification. Stop. I'm going to say that again. The Rebbe channels divine, spiritual, and physical bounty to his followers by altering the will of God, uncovering a deeper will through his own Deveikut and self-nullification. Stop. Bingo. According to Wikipedia, under Deveikut, the Deveikut, quote, it refers to a deep trance-like meditative state attained during Jewish prayer, Torah study, or when performing the 613 commandments. It is particularly associated with the Jewish mystical traditions. Example, altering the will of God to uncover deeper meaning. Let me say it again. I can't even talk right. Altering the will of God to uncover deeper will, huh? So as you can plainly hear, our Jewish brothers and sisters are more screwed up than the pigs. Ladies and gentlemen, little sisters and brothers, endure.